After being deemed unfit for military service, Steve Rogers volunteers for a top-secret research project that turns him into Captain America. This is my review of Captain America: The First Avenger. If you guys don't know, the reason I'm reviewing Captain America: The First Avenger is because I'm reviewing all the Marvel Phase 1 movies before Avengers Age of Ultron comes out in May, and this is the next movie on my list. And after rewatching Captain America: The First Avenger a few months ago, I have to tell you guys that I thought that after rewatching it, the movie was actually really good. The good points. I've noticed in these Marvel movies that the thing that stands out in the individual superhero movies are the individual superheroes themselves. And this movie is no different with Chris Evans playing Captain America, or Steve Rogers, I should say. I don't necessarily believe that he brought anything new to, like, the individual superhero movie, but for the role of Captain America, I thought that he did a really good job. And other people that stood out in the movie would have to be Hugo Weaving, who played Red Skull, and Tommy Lee Jones somewhat stood out in the movie as well. And before I forget, Stanley Tucci sort of stood out in the movie, and the actress that played Peggy, I forgot what her name was. The next best thing would have to be the costume and production designs, and there's two reasons for this. One reason is because it has that 40s feel to it when World War II was happening, and the second reason is because of the futuristic take that Captain America had. Because once you see some of the weapons, costumes, and vehicles that are in Captain America: The First Avenger, you can tell that they were trying to go for a futuristic look. But I think that they were trying to go for a futuristic look that someone from the 40s would have made. Out of all the scores that these Marvel movies have had, I think that Captain America: The First Avenger is the second score out of the entire franchise that I've noticed. Again, it had that 40s feel to it and that America tone to it, and the score had a sense of action and adventure to it as well. Joe Johnston directed this movie, and for what he did, I believe they did a good job with the tone that he made, which was a mix between action and adventure. Because with the story that this movie had and with the visuals, it just fit perfectly with it. The visual effects were good for the movie, and the same thing goes for the sound design that was made for the movie. I believe that the writing of the movie was good for an origin story. I thought the makeup was done well, and the only real thing that highlights the makeup is the makeup for the Red Skull. And once you see the movie, you'll know what I mean. The editing did a good job of making this movie have the right pace to it. And really the only other thing I have to say about the movie that was good was the ending and the post-credits scene in a way. I won't spoil the ending for you, but for the post-credits scene I'm going to talk about it, and it won't be spoiling anything really, in my opinion. Because really what the post-credits scene is just a preview of the Avengers. And I say that this is a good point because of the fact that all of this effort and work has culminated into this one big movie at the end of the road. But all I can say for the ending of this movie is that I thought that it was a perfect way to end the movie, that's all. The bad points. I guess what I didn't like about this movie was with the writing mostly. Like I said before, I thought the writing was good with the origin story, but I just thought that the movie didn't focus enough on Captain America and his team. Because after Captain America's first mission, he decides to form a small group of people, of soldiers, in order to fight off against Hydra. And we get to see this in a small montage, and I thought the montage was good. But after finishing the movie, I was like, they could have focused a little bit more on, like, their missions in a way. Like, maybe show a little bit more, like another 2 minutes of a montage or something. Because with the amount of time that Captain America's team was in the movie, it just didn't feel like it was enough time. I thought that the chemistry between Captain America and Peggy was a little bit weird, sort of. And I don't think it was anything between the actors, because I thought their acting with one another was good. I think it was just because of the lines that they had with one another. And I guess the only other thing I can say about the writing that was bad was that I think the story could have been a little bit longer. Because again, I thought the pace of this movie was done well and it was on the spot. But because of the pace that it had, it just made the movie go along really fast. And then after the movie ended, I was like, whoa, that was it? I just felt like there could have been more substance to the movie. And the only other bad point I can say about this movie is some of the visual effects. Overall, I thought the visual effects were good, but there were some moments where it's like, yeah, I don't think that's good, or that could have been worked on a little bit more. But yeah, that's all the bad points I have about this movie. So my rating for Captain America: The First Avenger is going to be a 3.25 out of 4 stars. I think that this is a really good superhero movie, a really good action movie, Yeah, if you're a fan of superhero movies, you'll love this. If you're a fan of action movies, I think you'll like it. You don't have to know any of the other Marvel movies in order to know what's going on here. You just have to watch this movie, and because it's a standalone basically. And even for the people that like fantasy or sci-fi movies, I think you'll like this movie as well. So that's my review for Captain America: The First Avenger. Hope you guys liked it. And other than that, guys, that's it.